All right, the top 20 mistakes salespeople make and how you can turn them around and use them as an asset for you. I'm Brad Sugars, chairman and founder at Action Coach, and these are, in my opinion, the top 20 mistakes salespeople make. Let's start with number one. Number one, not listening properly, okay? The biggest mistake you can make as a salesperson is not listening. Now, how do you solve that, okay? Again, it's a philosophy. First, you're listening to understand, not to respond. I'm listening to understand. Covey said it, seek first to understand, then to be understood. The best way for a salesperson to prove they are listening is to take notes, to actually write down things people are saying for two reasons. Number one, they'll see you writing it down. Okay, now if you're on the phone, you can say, hang on a sec, I'm just making some notes, okay? Second reason is when you're writing it down, okay, you're focused on listening and trying to get good notes rather than trying to think about what's the next thing, okay? So really listening well allows you to understand what the prospect, the customer needs, wants, and desires. So focus on that one first. Second marketing mistake that salespeople make. And I've been accused of this one, but I see it out there. They're just way too pushy, okay? Slow it down, especially after COVID. It's really interesting how the sales process during COVID either sped up massively and people just got there and bought it themselves, or they had to slow it back down and educate the customer, okay? Help them educate. Now, it's great if you've got tools like ebooks or videos to help educate the customers, but what it allows you to do is to be a problem solver rather than just pushing them down a certain path, presenting the options and allowing them to make choices, okay? Remember the definition of a salesperson. A salesperson is someone who professionally helps other people to buy. So we don't really sell, we professionally help someone else make a buying decision, okay? And that's where pushiness needs to be just removed from it, and guiding and allowing. Remember this, in today's world, just over 40% of the market says they would rather buy a product or a service without ever having to deal with a salesperson. The majority of customers say they are 70 to 80% of the way through the sales process themselves with the research they have done by going online, searching websites, watching reviews, videos, etc., etc. Pushiness doesn't really have a place in that. Now, flip that over just a second. Do you need to believe in your product? And if you believe that you have the right product for someone, do you need to be convincing about that? Do you need to be, confident in what you're doing? Absolutely. Do you need to ask for the sale? Absolutely not. Let me say that again. We don't ask for the sale. We assume the sale. I'll get to more on that one in just a moment. Mistake number three, not qualifying leads, okay? I've always been an 80-20 salesperson. 80% of my sales are going to come from 20% of my leads. So the more I work to qualify my leads up front, the more I work to do that. Now, you can't just say, do you have the money? You've got to ask open-ended questions, getting them talking, getting them about things so that you can lead them to a fact where they qualify or disqualify themselves, where they actually get educated enough to qualify themselves in or out of the buying process. You can't just do it. And I've seen some salespeople think, oh, I got to qualify this lead. Well, do you have the money to buy? No, you've still got to sell. You've still got to actually build a relationship. You still got to get the whole know, like, and trust factor. So you've got to make certain that you're asking questions that allow them to qualify themselves, okay? But do the qualification, work out early who are the ones who are ready to buy right now and who are the ones that need to be on a drip feed, who are the ones that need education, so that you move fast with the ones that are ready to buy right now. Generally, 20 to 40% of the market, depending upon the product or service you have, are ready to buy right now. That means a smaller percentage are ready now and a larger percentage need work over time. So be clear on qualifying your leads. Mistake number four, thank you. Not building rapport. Rapport building in this day and age is still one of the most important things, especially if you're doing phone selling, Zoom selling, internet selling, message selling, email selling. How you build rapport is very important with that person. Now, what is rapport? Rapport essentially is finding an unconscious connection type thing, that there is a similarity between us in some way, shape, or form. Similarities can be our background. Similarities can be both being parents. Similarities can be. So that's why it's important to weave into your questioning, finding out about them and giving information about you. It's important to put that in your sales process, information about yourself, whether it's on the website, no matter where, but people are going to look you up. They're going to check your LinkedIn profile or your Facebook or your company's website. They're going to find these things. So make sure that there is information and videos and things like that that allow them to find a way to be in rapport with you, but also you need to find a way to be in rapport with them. Number 5 mistake, lack of product knowledge. You know, with AI the way it is these days, you can almost have a bot have the amazing level of product knowledge to replace a lot of customer service people, a lot of sales people type thing. It's amazing. A bot can train on product knowledge and know it inside out. Well, we as salespeople need to have better product knowledge. Now, that also means it leans on our technical people and our marketing people to create product knowledge brochures, videos, ebooks, etc., etc. See, a lot of the time, the product knowledge doesn't have to be perfect in your mind, but you need to know where to find the product knowledge. You need to know where to look it up. You need to know the links to send people in order to be able to give them the knowledge that they need. Now, that flips it over to mistake number 6, lack of competitor knowledge. If your customer knows more about your competitor than you do, then they can sell you, okay? Now, let me explain what I mean by that. In a sales scenario, someone always makes the sale. Either you make the sale and they buy the product or service, or they make the sale that you can't help. See, either they sell you or you sell them. You sell them that you can help, or they sell you that you can't help. If they know more about your competitor's product or your competitor's service than you do, they are at a distinct advantage. So you've got to know as much as you know about your products and services about your competitors' products and services. At least, or at the very least, know where to get that information to be able to deal with it and be able to handle that stuff. Mistake number 7, the use of jargon. Simplify, simplify, simplify. Use the word you more often than the word I, we, us, and our company. You got to put it in the customer's language, especially your emails, especially anything in a written document, in a video that's prepared, any brochures that are going out. It's got to be in a customer-centric, simplified point of view. One of the things, and I was chatting with someone in the furniture business just the other day, and they started saying something. I said, hang on, how many years you been in the furniture business? He said, I've been here 28 years. I said, great. How much do you think your customer knows as a percentage of what you know? He said, maybe 2%. I said, great. Treat them that way. Teach them from, like, I don't know anything, okay? At least give me that knowledge, but write me an ebook on how to pick a good couch. Do me a video on the 17 things I should look for in a good bed. You know, give me the information to be able to do that, but simplify it and remove the jargon. Number 8. Lack of preparation. It kills me. And I'm sure you've had this too, where a salesperson has called you and they asked you a question. It's like, did you not even bother to look me up? Did you not go to our website or check my LinkedIn? Come on, dude. Go away. Call me back when you've done some homework. You know, in this day and age, everything is available for you to go out there and learn about your prospect, find out what football team they follow, find out where they went to school, find out how many kids they've got, find out. What's their favorite restaurant? What's their favorite charity? You know, where does she go on vacation? Look that stuff up before you get on the phone with someone. It makes your life so much easier in their life. Now, don't go stalkerish. Don't get on there and go, hey, those photos of your kids look really good the other day. But know that they have kids. Okay? Very important stuff. Okay? What are we up to? Number 9. Over-promising and under-delivering. It's still a problem today. It's always been a salesperson's problem. Under-promise, people. Under-promise. Don't over-promise. Under-promise and over-deliver. If you know that you're going to be able to get it to them on Thursday, and you say, listen, we should have it in by Friday. If I can get it to you earlier, I will. Then great, it gets to them on Thursday, and they're like, wow, great job. You got it to me a day early. You know, under promise, over deliver is really important for us as salespeople, okay? And our entire team too, I guess. Number 10, a lack of clear goals. A salesperson without goals is a salesperson that doesn't hit budget. No two ways about it, okay? And you don't just need a goal of, okay, this is my goal of total sales for the month. You need, okay, how many calls do I make goals? How many new connects do I want per day? That sort of thing. You've got to have goals broken right down into the components that make sure you get to the goal, okay, the ultimate goal. More granular goals, better results, okay? And even use the philosophy of, there's a great book on goals which talks about how many days in a row can you do something. They call it streaking, like going on a streak. Like how many days in a row can you connect with one brand new prospect? How many days in a row can you connect with, ask for one new referral or something? It doesn't matter what it is, but doing it days in a row, keeping consistent, that's how you'll get amazing results with your goals. Number 11, ignoring or badly handling objections. Now, do objections still come up? Yes. And I see some people say, oh, look, I don't want the term objections in sales. It means it's antagonistic. Listen, sales is partially antagonistic, always has been, always will be. We're trying to convince someone to do something. They're trying to buy something, but they don't know if they're making the right thing. They don't want to make a mistake. There is a challenge in that whole thing, okay? Are you going to get objections? Yes. Now, why do you get objections? Two reasons you get objections. One is you create them. If you keep talking about something a certain way, keep showing them something in a certain way, you're going to keep getting the same objections. I was with a salesperson just recently. His number one objection he got from people was time. He said, people just don't have the time to implement our solution. I said, well, great. Where do you deal with that in the sales process? And he looked at me and said, well, I don't really. I said, great. So we had to rebuild his sales process because he was leading them by not discussing it. He was leading them to that objection. So we had to solve the objection before it comes up. So if you're getting the same objection multiple times, it's because you're either doing something or not doing something that allows that objection to become a reality. The second reason you get an objection is there is an actual problem. They don't have the money, or it is too expensive, or they don't have the decision-making capability. There is actual things that can't be ignored that need to be looked at, okay? And how you handle that and how you get back into conversation when that objection comes up is really important. It's learning to take the objection and go, Now, the number one thing to do with every objection is validate it. Oh, I can see exactly why pricing might be a challenge for you. Oh, I can see exactly how that delivery date might not be workable. Validate their objection. Then move in, okay? But don't ignore the objection. Number 12, poor communication. If you're a salesperson, you're a professional, you do communication training. You've studied disc profiling, okay? You've studied visual auditory kinesthetic. You've studied some approach of communication and behavioral profiling. You understand how people make decisions. You've studied questioning. You've become a master at these techniques. Understanding communication is so important for us as salespeople. It is our number one tool, and it's what we've got to become amazing at. So keep studying more on communication. If you need to chat with your action coach about doing some of these profiling tools so that you can study your own style and therefore learn other people's styles, make sure you do that. Number 13, biggest mistake. Missing sales or missing buying signals. Let's do verbal and nonverbal, okay? What is the greatest verbal buying signal? Well, the greatest one is, can I buy that? But essentially, that is the type of thing that it is. See, if you're in a sales scenario, you position the sale, you go through questions, your questions are very open in the beginning, they're getting more and more detailed. You ask a question, they give an answer. You question, they answer. You question, they answer. Eventually, they ask a question. Bingo. Buying signal. I'm ready to buy. I want to ask questions now. I want to be in charge. I want to actually make a transaction. If you skip over their question and just keep going with your questions, you've missed the opportunity right there. Okay? Now, what's the nonverbal buying signal thing? Okay? I've been with you. I'm doing the whole thing. I'm answering your questions. I'm answering your questions. I'm answering your questions. I'm answering your questions. And now I'm answering your questions, and now I ask a question. That nonverbal cue of the lean in, the opening of the arms, that moving in, the taking notes, the doing things. When that shifts, when you notice the shift in the whole body language of the person, you know there's a nonverbal buying cue right there. Number 14, being too transactional. What do I mean by that? Going for one sale, not building a relationship. Doing the one deal, not going for the long-term deal. Long-term is how great salespeople make a lot of money. When I still remember reading way back in the day, Joe Girard, Guinness Book of Records, world's greatest salesman, and reading all about how he built these relationships and sent cards and postcards and birthday cards and things to every customer every month, and just kept that where to the point where people would come back and after 2-3 years they buy another car from Joe, and they had such a relationship. Build the relationship, keep in touch, keep communicating, send them information, send them newsletters, send them cards, recognize their birthdays, recognize their anniversaries. All those things buy you a lifetime customer. Okay. Number 15, not setting boundaries, okay? Listen, sales is a really unique job to have. I love being in sales. I think being in sales is one of the best things you could ever do. The challenge is, though, you've got to set boundaries at some point, okay? You got to not neglect yourself. You've got to take a break for lunch. You've got to actually get outside. You've got to take care of you so that you can be a great salesperson for the community. You know, I remember jokingly a sales manager I worked with one time, he said, yeah, I want all my salespeople to have a gambling addiction and have 17 kids. You know, why? So they needed the money type thing, and they burnt the candle at both ends. But it doesn't work that way anymore. You know, to take the phone call at 11 at night on a sales call, no, set the boundaries, do business the right way so that you can be a long-term professional in the industry, not just a short-term burnout by running the whole thing down, okay? Remember that. Number 16, not using technology. Dang. CRMs, emails, Zoom, phones, texting, social media. All of the technology available to you and I today has to be something that you use. You know, I get it, old school, you want to take handwritten notes, all that stuff. Recording your phone calls, recording them and listening back to your sales pitches, all of those things. Leveraged methodologies, videos, you know, record the video once instead of having to explain it to everybody all the time again and again and again. It's on video. Hey, presto, there you go. Write the ebook, create the template email, use technology to your advantage more and more and more, not less and less. Number 17, poor follow-up. You know, basically giving up. If I go back to, you know, the whole idea of follow-up is that most customers need multiple transactions or multiple interactions with you in order to buy it. I remember the late, great Jay Levinson telling me, Brad, until someone's had 17 interactions, they're not in a positive buying frame of mind. And I'm like, 17? Oh my God. Yeah, but that could be an email. It could be an ad they saw. It could be an article they read. There's multiple different ways for them to get that follow-up type thing. You have a reason to follow up each time. Don't be the follow-upper that just calls up and goes, hey, I'm just calling to follow up. Like, that's dumb. Call with a reason to follow up. Hey, I'm calling to let you know that we published an article around the product you were looking for. I just wanted to check if I had the right email to make sure that I could send you the article so you got more information around what you're looking for. You know, have a reason to chat with people. Oh, by the way, how's things going? Fantastic. Good, good, good. Any progress on decision making, what you're looking for? Any other question you got? You know, Have a reason, though, to follow up. Give yourself a reason. Giving up is not in a salesperson's vocabulary. When should you stop calling someone? When they say, please take me off your database. Please stop calling me. Excellent. They're no longer interested. Fantastic. I can stop calling right now. That inconsistent follow-up is also a bad thing. Okay? Make sure it's consistent. What are we up to? Number 18, poor time management. Okay, poor time management is a killer out there in the marketplace for a salesperson. A salesperson that manages their time well will usually have 2 or 3 segments of the day where they hit the phones. 1 hour here, 1 hour there, 1 hour there. An hour in the morning, hour around lunch, an hour in the afternoon. Hit the phones for 3 straight hours. Do all the other work in between. When I'm on the phone, I'm on the phone. When I'm doing paperwork, I'm doing paperwork. I don't try and do the phone and then do some paperwork and then do some emails and then do that. No. Break your time up. Manage yourself so that you get the most done fastest way possible. I remember one of my earliest sales managers literally got some tape and taped my hand to the phone. And he said, don't get up until you've made the first sale. It was like, and that became my mantra. I do not get up until I've made a sale. Once I sit on the phones until I've made a sale, I'm not getting up. And that's a great way of managing your time. Number 19 mistake, not asking for referrals every single time. Yeah, you can ask for it every now and again, but unless you're asking every single time, and especially right at the point of the transaction, hey, is there anyone else? And make it easy for them to give you referrals. Hey, here's some referral vouchers, some referral cards, here's some referral certificates. If it was me, I'd say, here's my book on sales. Let me give you 5 copies of this. Please give it to 5 other salespeople you think I should be chatting with about sales training. By the way, if you haven't done sales training with my coaches at Action Coach, please reach out. They have a 12-week sales training program that they can help you and your team with. Number 20, top sales mistake, forgetting existing customers. Your best next customer is one of your existing customers. Make certain that you keep following up. Doesn't matter your industry, doesn't matter what you do. You keep in touch with people. Don't forget them. Don't lose them on your database, okay? And I get it. I've got people, like I had this real estate agent say to me, but Brad, people don't buy a house every week. I'm not saying talk to them every week, but keep in touch at least once a month or every 90 days at the very least. Every 7 years, the average person buys a new home, 3 to 7, depending upon the marketplace. 7 years, a letter 4 times a year, or a card 4 times a year. What's that? $1 a letter or $1 a postcard once you have postage and everything? $28, $4 a year for 7 years, $28 to keep in touch. A couple of phone calls here and there. Yes, it makes sense to keep in touch. It's worth it to build that thing. Do not forget your past customers. Keep them busy. Keep your existing customers and help them buy more. If you keep in touch, you get more referrals. If you keep in touch, you get more repeat business. You get them buying more, upgrading, buying more things. And if you keep in touch, you inform them of all the new things that you start doing. I hate it when a customer says to a salesperson, oh, I didn't know you sold those, or I didn't know you did that. Oh, you've got to keep in touch, keep educating them, keep informing them. All right, these are the top 20 sales mistakes and how you can fix them. Get to work, do that thing. If you want more on this, read the books, contact your coach, learn how you can get more sales training and get your results up out there in the marketplace. Be well, bye for now. Share this with another salesperson and make sure you hit subscribe.